What's up, family? The Cleveland Browns have a quarterback dilemma. They have three quarterbacks. Quarterback number one,
You've spent your whole life as the starter, the chosen one, the guy under the bright Friday night lights, the man who carried his college team with poise and swagger. Then, one phone call, one draft night slide, one decision by people in suits, and suddenly, you're holding a clipboard on the sidelines, watching players you know you can outshine. That's the reality for Shedeur Sanders. And let me tell you, family, the way the NFL has handled his career so far, it's nothing short of a setup. Now, let's break it down. The Cleveland Browns roster looks like a carousel of quarterbacks. Veteran Joe Flacco is sitting at the top. Behind him, Dillon Gabriel, a backup who's still trying to prove himself. And way down the depth chart, Shedeur Sanders. The talent, the promise, the fifth-round pick who should have never been a fifth-round pick. The young man who went from first-round projections to number 144 overall. That's not just a fall, that's a push. And the way the Browns are structured right now, the only way Shedeur even touches the field this season is if Gabriel gets a chance, flops completely, and the team still decides to take another gamble. Even then, they might just ride Gabriel out till the end of the year. That's the cold truth. Think about it. Cleveland's schedule isn't a walk in the park. They're lining up against the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Steelers. That's a brutal stretch, which means the Browns are leaning hard on experience. If Joe Flacco can survive and even just split those 4 games, going 2-2, then his job is safe. And if his job is safe, guess what? Gabriel rides the bench. And Shedeur, he doesn't even get to sniff the turf. That's a lot of waiting for a kid who has never been anything but the guy. And here's the kicker, family. Shedeur actually had a shot to be in a better spot. The Baltimore Ravens called. They wanted him. Imagine that. Backing up Lamar Jackson. Think about the reps, the mentorship, the exposure. Even if Lamar only comes out for 1 play, even if Shedeur only touches the ball 3 times in garbage time, that's still more than 0. That's film, that's tape, that's an opportunity. But Shedeur, he turned it down. Now, I'm not here to crush him for that, but let's be real. If I had that offer, I'm not sure I'd roll the dice the way he did. Because in Baltimore, opportunity comes. Quarterbacks get hurt all the time. Sometimes it's a small knock, sometimes it's a big one. But when the backup's number gets called, that's your shot. And Shedeur could have been in the perfect place to wait for that call. Instead, he chose Cleveland, chose the bench, chose to play the long game in one of the coldest cities in the NFL, literally and figuratively. And I get it. Maybe it wasn't about the weather. Maybe it wasn't about the city. Maybe it was about pride, about believing he could earn the starting role quicker in Cleveland. But man, it's hard to watch because Baltimore felt like the bird in the hand situation, that one step that could have led to something more. Instead, the dice roll left him sitting, waiting, hoping. Here's the part that stings. They've already ruined his rookie season. Ruined it before it even started. A first-round talent was shoved all the way down to the 5th? A quarterback who should have been competing for Rookie of the Year is now reduced to a sideline spectator? That's not football. That's politics. That's strategy. And it happens more often than you think. Because in this league, it's not just about skill, it's about control. And Shedeur, he's learning that the hard way. You know what really gets me about this whole thing? It's not just the benching. It's not just the draft slide. It's the way the system seems designed to clip the wings of young black quarterbacks who show any sign of independence, any sign of backbone. Shedeur isn't just fighting for playing time, he's fighting against a league that has shown time and time again that it punishes those who don't play by its unspoken rules. Let's call it what it is. The NFL is a business built on politics. The owners run it like an old boys club, and if you step even slightly outside the mold they want, they'll remind you who's in charge. Just think back to Colin Kaepernick. A man took a knee in protest, peacefully, and they blackballed him for life. Out of the league. No second chances. That was the message. Don't test us. Don't stand too tall. And here comes Shedeur, son of Deion Sanders, a legend, a man who never bowed his head for anybody. Do you think the league forgot that? Do you think they didn't see the potential ripple effects of another Sanders making waves? It's the wins of the father, not the sins. The league couldn't stand to see a young man walk in with that much swagger, with that much lineage, and demand the respect he earned on the field. So what did they do? They cut him down financially. They stripped away the spotlight from a potential $20 million a year contract down to $4, maybe $5 million. Don't get me wrong, that's still money, but compared to what he should have had, it's robbery in broad daylight. And here's where it gets even colder. They didn't just hurt his pockets, they hurt his trajectory. When a rookie quarterback comes in with a big contract and a high draft slot, he's automatically given chances. Teams invest in him, protect him, and build around him. But a fifth rounder? He's disposable. He's the guy they can keep on the sideline, bury in the depth chart, or cut loose when the roster gets tight. That's the corner they've pushed Shedeur into. Family, this isn't just about one player. This is about a pattern. Look around. How many outspoken black quarterbacks have been given the same leash, the same patience as their white counterparts? You can count them on one hand. For every Lamar Jackson who breaks through, dozens of others never get the shot, no matter how much talent they've got. And the media? Don't get me started. Have you ever noticed how some of these so-called analysts operate? The ones who are quick to rip their own people apart on national television, but go soft when it comes to criticizing the system itself. The Charles Barkleys and the Stephen A. Smiths, the ones who always have strong words for black athletes, but never for the owners, never for the structure. That's not an accident. That's by design. The league loves having those voices because it keeps the smoke pointed inward, keeps the players fighting among themselves, instead of looking up and realizing where the real problem lies. And Shedeur is stuck right in the middle of it. He's got the game. He's got the pedigree. He's got the leadership. But he doesn't have the protection that comes with being their golden boy. Instead, he's in the crosshairs. Every decision, every play, and every word out of his mouth will be judged harsher than the next guy's. That's the pressure cooker they've dropped him into. Now, some folks will say, well, he turned down Baltimore, so that's on him. And sure, on the surface, it looks like a mistake. But dig deeper. Why did he feel like Cleveland was the better option? Did someone whisper promises of opportunity? Did someone sell him the dream of a quick rise to stardom? We may never know. But what we do know is this. The choice backfired. And instead of competing on the field, he's learning the hard lesson of waiting, watching, and wondering. It's frustrating because you can see the writing on the wall. Unless something drastic happens, an injury, a total collapse by the starters, Shedeur's rookie year will be wasted. And in the NFL, wasted years pile up fast. Careers aren't long. Every snap matters. Every rep matters. And he's getting none of them. But don't think this story ends here. Oh no. Because for every setback, there's a spark. The real question is, will Shedeur light it up when his chance finally comes? Or will the system bury him before he even gets the shot? Here's the thing about the NFL. They love to talk about merit, about how the best man earns the job. But if you've been watching closely, you know better. It's not always about the best player. It's about the politics, the optics, and the business behind the curtain. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is caught in that machine. Think about his reality. He's sitting on the sideline, helmet on, heart racing, waiting for a call that may never come. He's not hurt. He's not unprepared. He's just invisible. That's what the league can do to you. They can take a man with everything to give and make him disappear. And family, that's not just unfair. That's calculated. But here's where it gets interesting. Pressure like this, it can break a man, or it can forge him. For Shedeur, this year might feel like punishment, but it could also be the ultimate training ground. Every practice rep, every film session, every second he spends studying behind Flacco and Gabriel, that's ammo. That's preparation. And when the door cracks open, even for one snap, he has to be ready to kick it down. Because in the NFL, opportunity is rare, but once you seize it, they can't take it back. Still, let's not sugarcoat it. He's been robbed. The draft slide was no accident. His rookie earnings were slashed. His chances to compete were stripped away. And why? Because he represents more than just a player. He represents a name, a history, and a lineage they don't know how to control. Deion Sanders raised a son who believes in himself and who carries himself with confidence, and the league sees that as a threat. That's why I say, it's not the sins of the father, it's the wins of the father. The NFL doesn't forgive that kind of strength. And what about the bigger picture? Look at the media circus. Notice how the narratives are spun. They'll say Shedeur needs more development. They'll claim he isn't ready. But ask yourself, isn't that what they said about Lamar Jackson too? Isn't that what they said about Jalen Hurts? Over and over, the same coded language, the same tired doubts, until the players force them to shut up by winning. That's the road Shedeur is walking, and it's a lonely one. But here's the silver lining. Football has always been about more than talent. It's about resilience, and if anyone knows how to fight through noise, it's a Sanders. Deion built his career on defying expectations, shutting down doubters, and rewriting the rules. Shedeur has that same fire in his DNA. The only question is whether the NFL will ever give him the platform to show it. Family, this isn't just Shedeur's battle. It's symbolic of the struggle so many athletes face. How do you keep your spirit alive when the system is designed to dim your light? How do you stay patient when patience feels like punishment? That's the lesson here. Because no matter how talented you are, if the gatekeepers decide to hold the keys, you're left pounding on the door. And that's where Shedeur is right now, at the door, knocking, waiting, ready. Whether it opens in Cleveland or in another city down the line, one thing's for sure. When it does open, he'd better be ready to storm through like a man who's been held back too long. So where does that leave us? With a young quarterback caught between destiny and delay? With a league that plays favorites, that manipulates futures, that still hasn't reckoned with its own biases? And with fans, people like us, watching closely, waiting to see if the kid who fell too far on draft night will rise higher than anyone imagined. Because sometimes the sweetest victories come after the harshest betrayals. And when Shedeur Sanders finally gets his shot, the same league that tried to bury him might have no choice but to bow down. No more talk.